Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. This is an update from the Ukrainian front. This is the evening update. The Ukrainians have 2 updates a day, the Russians have 1 update. I usually use 2 articles, one coming from the Ukrainian side, the other one coming from the Russian side. They're kind of different, obviously, and they don't overlap too much. But anyway, I'm trying to keep them from both sides and see by finding what these weasels are saying versus the other weasels, you can put them together and have a better understanding of what's going on over there. Now, I'm going to start with the Ukrainian article, and then I'm going to use the Russians article, which is looking like a map right here with all these little bullets. And if you just access the bullets, they're going to tell you what happened over there. Now, the colors here are the red, the Russians are shelling. The yellow, it's either the Ukrainians are the yellow is attacks from the drones or aircraft by the Ukrainians. The black dots are where the Russians and the Ukrainians meet face to face like in infantry. And then you have about the blue where the Ukrainians are bombarding. So let's go to the Ukrainian article coming from Ukrinform. This is the evening one from the 8th of March 2023 from 9 p.m. Ukraine's Air Force inflicts 12 strikes on Russian positions in the past day. The Russian Federation has not abandoned its intentions to occupy Ukraine and continues its full-scale armed aggression. That's according to an evening update of the General Staff of Ukraine Armed Forces. The invaders' main focus is the offensive operations on Kupiansk, Liman, Bakhmut, Avdiivka, and Shakhtarsk axis. So that is all right here in this area. And the east, nothing here, no military, like they don't. Infantry doesn't meet one side the other side, and here the red ones here are just by the Russians. Russians are shelling the Ukrainian positions, whereas the Ukrainians say, well, they tried to conduct offensive here. Well, you can consider that offensive operation as well, I guess. So the enemy continues to violate rules. Yeah, just the Russians. During the day of March 8, the adversary launched 22 airstrikes and 29 MLRS attacks. In particular, the enemy launched a Shahed 136 kamikaze drone, which was downed. So they launched A1. All right, the threat of missile strikes across Ukraine remains. And the Ukrainians start their update from the north. They're going to start talking about Chernihiv, then Sumy Oblast, and then Kharkiv Oblast, and Luhansk, Donetsk, Zaporozhye, and then move to Kherson. That's how they start. Shoops. So they're going to talk about something that I don't see anything happening here on the Russian side. Nothing. But let's see what the Ukrainians are saying. Volin policja si vershchnia en Slobozhanщina axis. No significant changes. No signs of any offensive groupings being formed were spotted. During the day of March 8, the enemy shelled the vicinities of the settlements in Chernihiv, that's the north one, Sumy region, northeast, and then Kharkiv region, it's the right here, the east. So they said nothing really happened here, just a shelling or something. Now, Kupiansk and Liman axis, we're going down now here, right here. Kupiansk and Liman axis, the adversary continues its attempt to break through the defenses of Ukrainian troops. The enemy conducted unsuccessful offensives towards Spirne, Khryavkivka, and Bilohorivka. The invaders fired artillery at a number of settlements, among them, and then give some settlements here in Kharkiv, then Luhansk, and then in Donetsk. So they're talking about exchanging fire in this area right here. Let's see what the Russians are saying. All this red stuff here, the red bullets, are Russians shelling. So let's see what they shelled. Forces of the Zapad group hit Ukraine Air Force units using artillery and airstrikes. Let's go here. Forces of the Zapad hit the same thing, and let's see what the Ukrainians did over here. Russian air defenses shot down a Ukrainian drone, and I'm assuming this again, the Russians did the same thing. This is forces from the center group hit Ukrainian air forces. So this is just artillery shots. We're gonna move down here to Artemovsk, which is Bakhmut. I'm assuming where the Ukrainians are gonna move right here. Bakhmut axis. The enemy continues to advance. The assault on the city of Bakhmut does not cease. Let's see what the Russians are saying. Private military company Wagner founder Evgeny Prigozhin said that the Russian forces had taken the eastern part of the city under control. All right. These guys say the enemy continues to advance. The assault of the city of Bakhmut does not cease. Ukrainian defenders repelled attacks in the vicinity of, and they give you here about 10, 12 settlements in Donetsk region who came under enemy fire. Now they move south a little bit, Avdiivka and Shakhtarsk axis. The adversary conducted unsuccessful offensive operations towards Kremiana and in Donetsk Oblast. The enemy shelled more than 15 settlements, and they give you here about 15 settlements in Donetsk region. So let's see what the Russians are saying. So they have Avdiivka and Marinka and Ugledar, which is Vuhledar in Ukraine. So let's see what these guys are saying in Avdiivka. Fighting is ongoing on the outskirts of the city. Advisor of the DPR's acting head said that it was becoming increasingly difficult for the enemy to hold back the onslaught, and the intensity of shelling had decreased compared to the summer. Okay, let's go in Marinka. In Marinka, fighting is ongoing in the west of the city, and Vuhledar, fighting is ongoing on the city outskirts. Forces of the Vostok group hit Ukraine armed forces units using artillery and airstrikes. Someone hit Donetsk. Let's see what the Ukrainians did. Ukrainian forces shelled the Kievsky, Kirovsky, Kuibysevsky, and Petrovsky districts. 12 MLRS rockets and 51 shells from 155mm guns were fired at the city. So this is shelling. Let's go and see what the Ukrainians are saying now in Zaporozhye and Kherson axis. Now we're going further down. This is Zaporozhye. This is the Kherson. There's no meetings here. Let's see what the Ukrainians did. Russian air defenses shot down a Ukrainian drone, and the Russian forces of the Vostok group hit a Ukraine armed forces units using artillery and airstrikes. That's all that happened here, they say. And here is the Ukrainians bombarding or shelling. There's the blue thing. This is the Russians bombarding, and here probably two drones that the Russians downed. Let's see what the Ukrainians are saying. Zaporozhye and Kherson axis. The adversary is on offensive. Over 30 settlements near the line of contact came under fire. This included, and they give us some names here, in Donetsk region, then in Zaporozhye, and in Kherson. Now it's the Ukrainian Air Forces launched 11 airstrikes on the enemy manpower and equipment clusters, and one on the position of the enemy's anti-aircraft missile system. On March 8, units of Ukraine missile and artillery troops also hit a Russian command post. As Ukrinform reported earlier, Ukraine's defense forces from February 24, 2022 to March 8, 2023 eliminated nearly 155,530 Russian invaders, including 700 in the past day alone. So this is the update coming from both sides. I didn't see much overlapping over there in their reports, but that's happening every day. They are going like this with their information. The only thing is when they say, well, we shelled the other side, yeah, we shelled the other side. Basically, that's what it is. The other little cities, the Ukrainians mentioned more axes in the north a little bit as unsuccessful, obviously, Russian offensive operations. The Russians did not even mention that. They started only with Bakhmut, Artemovsk, and down. Bakhmut, Marinka, Avdiivka, and Ugledar. The other guys did not even mention Ugledar. They mentioned only Bakhmut and two more, Liman and Kupiansk or something like that. Well, it's not no major developments reported on by either side. It doesn't mean that destruction doesn't occur over there, but hey, as of now, general information, not really what three people did, how many rounds they shot, just general information. Thank you very much for being like macro, not micro, micro, macro. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.